Hi, this is my Breckwell Big E that I just got installed in my woodworking shop. I did the install myself, and it was pretty good. It went smoothly. The drawer vent components were good to work with. Here we have a code that in this type of environment it has to be raised 18 inches above the heat source, or in this case the firebox. So that's why it's sitting on some big blocks, which I then I cladded them in metal just to make them look better. It's putting out a lot of heat. It's fantastic, and the thing I really like about this is that it's putting the heat out at ground level, which is a nice change. I wish the control panel was movable, because on this side and here, that's what the control panel is. So I got about 15 inches in here, so it's not a big deal. I can get to it, but it would be kind of cool if there was an option put on the other side. I know I can put a thermostat kit on this, but I kind of like the manual. I like the fact that I can set it to basically go flat out, and even though the thermostat might not think it needs it, if I know that I'm going to be operating the spray booth in another half hour or so, then I'll get my heaters going higher than what would normally be, just to get some heat soaking into everything in the shop, so that when I do operate my spray booth fan, it doesn't cool down quite as quick. And yeah, I'll show you the flame, but it's going to get a little crazy for a second while the camera tries to figure out exactly what's happening here. So, but let's see if we can zoom in. There you go. So it's showing up darker than it is in real life. That's just the camera doing its thing. But it's the fire pot. It's doing really well. I pretty well rebuilt a lot of this, and I serviced a lot of it, I guess I should say. The stove itself, for the most part, was fine. It just it had a burnt out triac on the computer or circuit board there, which thank goodness I was able to find and fix. And it had a broken proof of fire switch, so it wouldn't know that it necessarily had the flame, and then therefore it thought it was in a default mode and would shut down. So once those were found, then I got it running, and it was just basically going through everything else from there, welding up some things, like repairing some things inside, and yeah. But all in all, it went really well, and I don't have too much into it, which is fantastic. And I'll just show you in the back. Sorry for the shaky camera. That's about as good as I roll. If it will zoom. Well, I guess I'm asking too much of it, but you can barely see on the bottom. That's the adapter from drawer vent, and it's really nice. It just has a stainless flange that comes out and basically gets put onto your output of your stove. And then back here is the fresh air intake, and I just have that foil wrapped with a band clamp. The nice thing about the adapter, the appliance adapter on the exhaust side, is that it only requires a screw and the high temp RTP. So actually getting it to hook up while you're trying to move a 300-pound stove isn't as bad as you would think. It could have been a lot worse. My wife and I did it. It wasn't that bad. So, and one thing I actually like about the stove too is it's got pretty tight clearances, which is nice. 1 inch on the back and 12 on the sides. Which is good, because in a shop like this, obviously, you know, space is important, and there's, you know, wood around and stuff like that. So I don't want a problem of any sort. To give you an idea of how hot it is, I put a thermocouple in, and if I could, I'd post a picture, but I'm not that tech savvy. But I put a probe just right in front of one of those tubes, and it was reading 219 degrees Fahrenheit, and that's at a medium air setting, and it's not overfiring it at all. It's looking at the flames, they're doing their thing like they're supposed to. So this thing definitely puts the heat out. When it says 55,000 BTUs, I believe it. It's got a good size hopper too, which is nice. And I am burning right now, I am burning Pinnacle Fir. I don't know if there's more to it than that, but from what I understand, it's a kind of a premium pellet. I tried burning, I guess, horse bedding pellets or some sort of equine pellets. They claimed they were pine, but I think they had a bunch of filler in them because I was missing probably 50% or at least a third of the BTUs from the I was getting from the fir. So after making that switch over, it's really made a big difference, especially on the actual temperature. You know, the higher temperature really seems to make a big difference. The air goes through it all the same. So if you're going to circle the same amount of air through the system or through the cycle that it goes through, then to get more heat, obviously you got to raise your temperature. So that in itself has been great. And to give you an idea of the amount of heat that's coming out of it, I have no idea what the CFMs are of this thing, but standing in front of it, any closer than 3 feet and bare skin starts to get that burning feel you get when you stand by a campfire. And you know, you're good for maybe 30 seconds or so, and then it's uncomfortable, you want to move away. So yeah, it's so far really good, and I've had a lot of help from people online, and the people at RE McDonald Stoves were fantastic. If you need help at all, you just give them a call. Of course, they're in Langley, British Columbia, so depending where you're at, but they are great people to work with. So thanks for watching, and talk to you guys later.